Welcome to another Plan 6 part video. Welcome to part 2 of the Spitfire rear brakes. So, if you've seen part 1, you see me, I took this apart to this stage, and then I cleaned up the brake adjuster. So, that's ready to go. Now, again, if you haven't watched part 1, the reason why it looks like this is I never fully stripped it off, so I wasn't pulling it all apart anyway. Basically it was seized, and I have a feeling this had a lot to do with it. So now I'm going to pull it all back on and go from there. So, yeah, it's basically reverse of what we've done. So, because I never pulled the pads off, I leave them on because the springs are still connected. I'm going to slip the brake adjuster back in. Hopefully you can see this and my head's not in the way. Okay, she goes. So before I put the pads on, I'm gonna put the nuts back on the back of it again. As I said in part 1, these adjusters are the same as the TR6. So if you happen to have ones for your TR6, you can use the same. The only difference between this and the 6 is the vertical link, if you want to call it that, is in the way, so you can't actually get a ratchet in there really. So I had a look at these brake pads. There's obviously a lot of meat left in them, so there's no need to change them. The owner of this car before me actually was pretty good, but I feel like it's set up so long, that's just why the brakes seized, but I feel like this had a lot to do with it. Just I'm gonna be painstakingly slow. All I can see is all the mosquitoes flying in front of my face. That and all the chipmunks running across the driveway. I have a 71 out there that's for parts, and I'm pretty sure they're in the exhaust now. So one day he might come out the exhaust and find himself in a new home. With this, like I said, I'd always recommend if you do change them, just put new ones on it. But this one, like I said, I'm pretty good at unseizing them, as long as they work fine. Some of them are so bad that the treads are worn and you can't turn them in freely by hand, or the nut is really seized on and just threaded. Replace it. You make a judgment on that. Same as the wheel and cylinder up top. Again, it's always great to replace them, but unfortunately, as we know now, everything is a lot of money. There's nothing cheap anymore. Even though these are cheap parts, they're still not that cheap. Especially if you keep replacing everything. Okay. So I got that done. I'll put my brake shoes back in again. Obviously you want to make sure when you do put them in that they're actually in the groove. Oh, see the top one popped out on me. And before you put anything back on, even these, well, you can put them on. You want to actually test it and make sure when you wind it, it actually still goes in. Now, here's the little trick to getting these on. So, I don't know if you've seen in part one, and I haven't cleaned these up. I know people are saying I should have cleaned them up. I hold them by hand. So, with the little lip, as you can see, I'm basically going to put it in. I'm going to put one through and line it up till it goes through the hole itself in the retainer. Now, do you have to use these style? No, I'm sure there's other ones you can get now that will work the same. But, so, hopefully you can see this. Hopefully, I'm going to zoom in. So I'll pop it through, put a spring over it, and I'm basically just going to push it in by hand until it goes through the groove or lines up with it. I know my hand's in the way and you can't see nothing. Oops, I dropped it. The reason why is that, like, as soon as you compress it in, like, you don't have to. I try lining up to make it easier, so I'm holding it. I just compress it in. And then when it's in, all I'll do is turn the back of it until it sits through the hole. And keep twisting. The only hard part you'll find is lining it up. When I say line up, is that having the spring right in the middle that fits through. That's why I like the TR6s, it's a lot easier. Hang on, I'm going to try to swap hands. Oh, tripping over here. Oh, it's a little dark. So for me, so I try to do it that I can literally almost put it through by hand, and then I hold it just enough to get the spring in. And again, you can either turn the whole plate, or sometimes work, but I find it best to turn just the spring at the back. Now I did try the other way and it didn't work. But this is the frustration you'll find with it. It is a little frustrating at times to get it in. It doesn't help because it's getting dark. I'm on the wrong side of the light. Right, now it's getting a 9. Maybe somebody has a better way of doing this. Maybe. Okay. I said I line up so that literally pushes through. Oh no, I lost it. I wouldn't mind, but I done the other side. I done them so quick. Of course, now the camera's rolling, of course it's going to take forever. It's typical. Because I know I don't, and I swear I know this time I don't edit it. Hopefully my head isn't on the way. There you go. So, finally, after all that, for the love of God. As I said, if I can get it close enough, I'll just push it in and twist at the back. That's one down. Let's see how much of a pain the other one's going to be. I said, but on the far side, and I wasn't at the camera, I went straight in so quick. It was so easy. This went in a little easier this time. Make sure she's twisted all the way. I'm sure the new ones, we get new ones, will be a little easier. Okay, finally, for the love of God. Alright, that's back on. Now I can put my, make sure I line up with the holes, put my cover back on. So the only thing you do have to do when you're doing it is to make sure just to move it a bit and make sure all the holes line up. So find out which way it goes to make sure everything lines up. Whoop. A little stiff again. Just double check everything's in spot. Actually, I need didn't do what I was supposed to do. Just actually move the adjuster. Make sure it actually goes in. Alright, yep. Again, we want to make sure that it actually pushes everything out. And again, always set it. Sorry, all the mosquitoes are coming at me. Okay. Now, let's get back to this back on again. Moving a little easier this time. Alright, so the last screws I said were absolutely banjoed. So, time to replace them. One. pretty stiff, which is good. It will loosen up, at least it's not seized all towards us. Now, to do this, the trick is to turn it and tighten it until you can't move this anymore, and then you're going to back it off. And that gives you good pressure in. Sorry, the mosquitoes are eating me here. Alright. See, it's already locked already. So, back one turn. There we go, we got movement. Now, if you're not too sure, here's the problem you can run into. If you have this too tight and you go back let's say one turn, you may still have the brake light turned on because it still thinks it's engaged. So you may have to ease it off too. Have a little light, looser, just to make sure. And then, because that brake light will come on when the handbrake is meant to be up, so if it's pulled too tight, you may have to adjust them until the light turns off. As soon as you get the light off, that's it. So that's it. So now I said that I've got that unseized. That'll be good. There should be a good working brake. As I said, it'll adjust itself in there as well as it goes around. So, well, that's it. So, yeah, I'll get a final one on it by putting the wheel on it. It gives me a little bit more play instead of trying to just turn this. But yeah, I'm happy with that because I know the handbrake, when I pulled it, it went up a lot of the way. And if you want to test it, you can always pull the handbrake and make sure you get zero movement. If you still don't get movement, then you're going to go up here and you're going to adjust the handbrake lever. Sorry, after all that I'm hiding in here, you can't even see me. When you pull the handbrake, you want to make sure that it should be locked in position. If not, we're going to come in here. I know it's a little dark. Actually, let me get the light here. We're going to come in here and adjust the handbrake lever. Because it's when the handbrake lever, as much as you adjust the bottom of it, the top of it, if you pull it and it's not pushing out the top ends of it, out to the brake drum, then it's not going to do anything. So what we want to make sure is that we can adjust it, and then here's the adjuster here. So you want to do that, there's a bit of tension on it when you pull it, and it should only really go up about 4 clicks. So let it off, let the handbrake off, and adjust that. And I'll probably do another video on it now actually on how to adjust it for it, but if I don't get around to it, that's it. So anyway, so sorry at the end if you didn't see what I was doing. I was basically, after I adjusted it, I'd turn it and then I'd wait for it to stick and then loosen it off. Obviously the handbrake on this does need to be adjusted. However, at least our rear axle is free again. So as usual, any comments, questions, concerns, give me a shout. They're the same, they all really basically work the same. The MGBs, the Triumphs, the same sort of system, the same thing works, the same way you adjust them. And like I said, the only other way to do it is you could put the wheel on it if you want a bit more leverage. But yeah, now next thing is going to be the handbrake to make sure that there's zero movement on it when I pull the brake. So yeah, again, thanks for watching.